Hi guys, I hope mko salama. Now, did you know that 26% of individuals that you know actually may be suffering from mental illness? What that actually means is that out of the 5 people in your head, in your mind, in your community, at your workplace, out of those 5 people you can count, most likely one of them is suffering from mental illness. I know this is a topic that we're not most comfortable to talk about, but let's meet in a bit and discuss this. My name is Mary Mukoma. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, make sure you like. Sawa sawa, see you in a bit. Welcome back, guys. Now, if you're suffering from, say, malaria, you would know what symptoms to look at. There is fever, there is, joint pain and all that. Any disease and any illness that you can talk about has its own symptoms. And also mental illness has its own symptoms that I would like us to discuss. And the reason I'm talking about this topic is I just realized that indeed mental illness is here with us, and we need to talk about it just as we talk about headaches, as we talk about malaria, and drop the stigma that goes with mental illness, because otherwise we will not help ourselves and those that we love and those that are around us. Now, what are the symptoms that you need to look out for, either from yourself or from your friends or family? 1, if someone is feeling sad for a prolonged time, nothing is making sense for them, and they feel this immense sadness throughout, that may be a sign, all right? There's just a cloud of sadness, hovering around them, and for some reason they don't find anything to be happy about. Yeah, that is one. You could look at that as one symptom. Then another symptom is excessive worry, excessive fear, excessive sense of guilt. This person cannot forgive themselves at all, and they're worried all the time. They are fearful something may happen, and there's nothing substantial they're worried about, nothing substantial they are afraid about, but they're just in a sense of fear, in a sense of constant worry. That is not a good sign. All right. Then another thing is extreme mood change. You meet someone who is excited, happy, and then the next minute they are just angry and irritated, and they don't want anything to do with you, out of nowhere, or you say something and out of they snap. They just have extreme mood changes. Right now they're happy and then they're extremely angry. That is not a good sign, guys. And then something else is withdrawal. So if someone is withdrawing from friends and hobbies and activities that used to excite them, and they all of a sudden are not interested, they don't want to hang out, they don't want to talk, they just want to stay in their bedroom, they just want to stay at home. When you call them, their calls are short, they don't want you to ask questions. That could be a symptom, guys. And then another thing maybe you can check is if you have low energy, or whoever we're talking about is just constantly tired. In the morning they're tired and they've done nothing and they don't want to get out of bed. They're not excited about what they need to do. They're just low in energy. They're just tired constantly. A day or 2 is normal. I mean, there are those days that you're just exhausted. But if it's a constant thing, like Monday to Friday, you just feel like you don't want to do anything, you need to, get checked or something. Then there is another thing. If someone is unable to cope with stress, with, the normal stress of life, so something small becomes a huge mountain for them. They are not able to cope with, the daily challenges. And whenever they talk to you, they seem to be, really worried about something small in your eyes, but to them it's this huge mountain. Then something is magnifying whatever they are facing. And that could be actually mental illness or extreme stress or something like that. Then if someone turns to alcohol and drug abuse and to the extreme, that could also be a sign of mental illness. That is actually a symptom. Then another thing that I identify with this personally is eating habits. There are those who will not eat at all when they're stressed and heading to depression, and then there are those who eat a lot. You should watch me when I'm facing examinations or something, a case is coming up and I'm really not sure how it will go. I eat a lot, and some people will eat too much as they head towards depression. So if you see someone has changed their eating habits so badly and it's extreme, you need to pay attention. Pay attention and look at it in that manner. Now this is another thing. If you ever catch your thoughts thinking of suicide, if you ever catch yourself thinking about suicide, that is a sure bet that you're heading into depression if you're not already in depression. So suicidal thoughts are very bad. They are the surest sign that you really need help. You really need to talk to someone, all right? The other symptoms I've talked about really, whether combined or one or two, let's talk about mental illness. If you're facing one or two and you need to improve on them, you need to talk to someone, don't be afraid. Just don't sit down with the symptoms growing into something else. I had a doctor say that mental illness does not just go away. You really have to deal with it. And if these symptoms describe what you're facing right now, talk to someone, find help. All right, so before you do that, there are some tips that I would like to share. They've worked for some people I know, and I know they will work for you as well. Number one, value yourself. Treat yourself with kindness. Guys, nobody will treat you with kindness if you don't treat yourself with kindness. Nobody will love you more than you love yourself. So be kind to you, hug you, love you, value you before anybody can love you, value you, and be kind to you. So guys, if you're facing these low moments, I know COVID-19 has come with many challenges. There is the financial stress, there is family stress, there is people have lost jobs. People like me in business don't have lots of business, but you know what? We must come out of this hole and stand strong, all right? So number one, value yourself regardless. I mean, separate yourself from the situation you're facing and, lift yourself above the mess. Love you, be kind to you, value you, when him to a man. Then second, surround yourself with people who add value to you, not the other way around. Because if you just mingle with people who are always talking about how bad things are, always complaining, always mumbling, I mean, there's nothing to lift you up in their company. You need to change your friends, you need to change your circle immediately, because if they're not helping you see the lights at the end of the tunnel, then they may not help you in this journey of mental wellness, all right? Then number three, volunteer. I know you may not have so much money during this period, but volunteer to go help cook in a children's home. Volunteer to do one or two things to for your elderly neighbor. Volunteer to do something. I mean, what I mean is, when I feel most discouraged, what I do is reach out and show some love to my friends. Somehow it works. When you volunteer and give that love and reflect that love and just show support, it kind of reflects back to you. And for some reason, it always works. So volunteer to be good to someone, volunteer to be of help to someone, and somehow it always comes back to you, all right? Then number four, get coping skills with stress. Get coping skills. For me, my coping skill is writing. I diarize, I write. I have so many journals, as in every year I have a journal, and I just write. I have a prayer journal, I have a diary, I have a to-do list book. I mean, for me, my coping skill is writing. Anytime I feel so tense and very stressed, writing works for me. So find your coping skill. If your coping skill is taking a walk, then be consistent and take a walk. If your coping skill is just hanging out with friends, then do it. You can do Zoom now that you don't have hotels and everything, but just find a way. Cope with your stress. Just find a way. Find out what works for you. Is it exercise in the morning? Whatever. Just get that good energy in and that bad energy out. Just do it. Then this is the second last tip I want to give. Realistic goals. Yeah, and this is just Don't expect too much out of yourself, because whenever you have unrealistic goals, you kind of beat yourself up that I failed in this, I failed in that, I failed, you know, in this and the other. Even for things that are beyond your control, recognize that there's nowhere that is written that you will always succeed in everything you're doing. I mean, all of us have had failures, all of us have had those moments where we're not doing so well. So just have realistic goals, you know, break them down. Don't feel overwhelmed to perform. Like, you're not a superman. If you're a mom like me, you know, you're not a superwoman, you're not a super person, you're not a superhuman. Just do what you can, guys. Just do what you can. All right. Finally, get help. Get help. Get professional help. I know pastors can be good counselors. I know church members can be good counselors. But even when that doesn't work for you, sometimes it is good. There is nothing wrong with going to get professional help. Just the same way you go to a doctor because your knee hurts or your tooth hurts, the same way you can go to your doctor and say, I'm not feeling mentally okay, and it is all right. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. So let me hear your views. Let me you know, just give your comments on your encounter with mental wellness and mental illness and what you'd like to share. All right, and share this video. Remember, be supportive during this time. Things are tough. You know, times are tough, but let's be there for each other. All right, bye guys. See you in another channel. See you in another video. I mean, bye guys.